Hello, you retards and screwheads. Today I'm gonna change directions a little bit and not focus on the news of the day. Instead, I'm going to talk about the Epik program, which is teaching English in the public schools of Korea. I did that for 2 years. So some of you are thinking about coming over here, and some of you, maybe you're working in a hagwon, and you're saying to yourself, maybe I'll transfer to Epik, see if the grass is any greener on the other side. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experience. I'm sure everybody has different experiences, different but the same in a way. You know what I'm saying. Maybe their school was a little better, a little worse, but it's the Epik program, and I'm sure the similarities are much greater than the differences. But what do I know? I just did it for 2 years, like I said. So let me relate how it went for me. I flew in, and the very next day was a Sunday, and she wanted my head co-teacher. You're going to have co-teachers, and you're not just going to have one. Over the course of 2 years, I think I had 6. You'll have a main co-teacher, then you'll have other co-teachers, right? You're going to be doing about 20 classes a week. So anyway, for some reason, this main co-teacher really had to talk to me on a Sunday. I was set for work the following Monday. She had to see me. Very important, this communication. So I drive to the school with my brother-in-law. I'm married to a Korean woman. And it looks like we've been married 25 years, but it looks like we're on the outs. I think I'm going to be heading back to America in January. Anyway, I don't want to go down that route right now. My brother-in-law drove me up there. We waited in the parking lot. And 15 minutes later, she showed up in her car. And the first thing she did was insult me. She said, how old are you? I said, I'm 40. And then she gave me a puzzled look and said, what are you doing here? Shouldn't guys your age already be settled? And I don't know. I'm one of these types, I think bad things about people all the time, but I don't say it, right? And she didn't know my situation. I'm married to a Korean lady. I got like a permanent resident visa, and my opinion, I was settled, So anyway, then she says to me, I called you here because I wanted to warn you about this school. She said, this is the worst school in the city. You're probably going to hate this place. Now, I had come from America. I had lived in Korea, and then I went back to America. I was a public school teacher in America. Then I came back to Korea. Right? So I taught in the public schools in America for 5 years. So when she said that, I was thinking, oh, Lord, here we go again. 5 years I taught in America. Not all the kids were bad, but I taught my share of drug dealers and hoodlums. And I even taught a guy who shot a guy and killed him. He didn't do it at the school. He did it off campus. He was 16 when he killed the kid, 16 or 17. Anyway, so I'm thinking in my head, oh, here we go again. So I go in the next day. It was a girls' school. I'm thinking, how bad can it be, right? So I go in, and she's like, I meet her again, and we sit in the teacher's office. Oh, and then I got to go meet the principal and meet all the teachers. And then and they're like, please understand our students. Please don't think too harshly. Please understand them. So I meet the students, and they're girls who don't want to go to college in the future. So they go to a tech school. Well, most of them don't want to go to college in the future. So they want to get a job right when they get out of high school, basically. And I meet them, and they seem okay to me. they weren't big into studying, and they liked to smoke, which is a big no-no in a Korean school. And they liked to spit for some reason. They were always spitting. These were high school girls. They were always spitting on the floor. I'm like, the craziest thing is in high school, all the students have to clean the rooms. There are no janitors to clean. It's students who clean. Something, why are you spitting on the floor? You got to clean it up. Anyway, that's just their culture, I guess. They love to spit. And they were okay. It didn't seem that bad to me. They slept a lot. And so I didn't really have any major discipline problems in the sense of people getting up and throwing things at me or cursing me out or anything like that. It was just, most of them weren't really good at English, and, but other than that, it was okay. And then the thing about Epik, for me anyway, is every teacher that I was with had a style. Like my main co-teacher, I was just like a tape recorder in a sense, She'd read in Korean from a book, blah, 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 blah. And she'd point at me, and then I had dialogue like, "Good evening, madam." And then the class would have to repeat it. "Good evening, madam." And then I'd say, "The special tonight is is spaghetti and meatballs." And the whole class would have to say, "The special tonight is spaghetti and meatballs." And then I'd say something like, "Can I get you a drink first?" And the whole class would repeat, "Can I get you a drink first?" Needless to say, it isn't exactly a lot of brain power. In other classes, the teachers might just sit in the back of the room and do other work while you take the whole class. So it just depended on the teacher, basically. The hardest part for me was not falling asleep standing up. Because some of those, when they were doing those dialogues and she was speaking a lot of Korean, you start to daydream. And sometimes you even miss the prompt. Like, hey, come on, get with it. It's your turn. "Oh, yeah, sorry. Good evening, madam. Our special tonight is spaghetti and meatballs," So it was, I'll be honest, it's kind of boring, a little bit boring. And there's also cultural things going on there too, that was like my co-teacher. She was the one who said, "What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be settled down?" and all that kind of stuff at the beginning. She always had these strange sexual questions for me when we were in the office together. She might say like, "I hear white men only come here to have sex with Korean women." And I'd say to her, "Well, I'm married, and so I'm not looking around, so yeah, I'm not. Maybe some are. I don't know. I don't have many friends, I mainly hang out with my family, so you got me." Or she said something one time like, "All you white men think Korean girls are easy." I said, "Look, I've been married to this woman." At the time, it was for like 10 years. I've been married to her for 10 years. Trust me, it ain't easy. It's anything but easy. And then one time, the girls were giving her trouble in the class. And after class, and you got to be careful what you say because they take the wrong meaning. They're very literal because even the English teachers, because, they don't understand like a lot of the idioms or metaphors and, everything's literal. So I said to her, I shook my head sympathetically. And I said, those girls, I don't know what's wrong with them. They were really breaking your balls today. And she said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, they're breaking your balls." I shouldn't have said it because when we went back to the teacher's room, she looked it up on the computer, breaking balls. And she got like a sexual meaning from it. And in front of all the other teachers, she stood up out of her chair. She pointed at me. She kept saying, "You. I said, I'm looking around sheepishly because, like I'm some type of pervert, you know. I said, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you got the wrong meaning. That's not what I mean. You know. So you got to really be careful what you say, because they don't know. A lot of times you say one thing innocently, and then they'll get a different meaning. You know. So is it in my opinion, it was an easy job with a few clashes, cultural clashes, that are easily overcome if you just, if you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way, and you can't fly off the handle every time they insult you. You just have to bite your tongue sometimes. I'll give you another example of an insult. 2 years later, I found a better job, and I'm leaving to go do this other job. And it was perfect because I have 2 kids, and it's a school that's all pretty much English. And, it was just a better job, in my opinion. Paid a little better location, better everything. So I said to not the main co-teacher, another co-teacher, said, yeah, I'm leaving. It's nice to know you. I hope you have a good life. And she had just had a baby. I said, all the best. Wish you the best in the future, you and your child. The typical polite things. I didn't really know her that well. She seemed nice enough. Then she said something to me really rude. She said, when you leave, I hope they hire a young, handsome man so that the girls will be excited. It was a real kind of insulting. And you have an urge to say something back. You don't want to. You just want to bite your tongue and don't get into it, right? If you get insulted, you don't want to be a doormat. If they start trying to make you work extra hours, you got to stick up for yourself. But you can't let every little insult grind on your nerves, or you'll have a miserable time, trust me, because they are an insulting people. And Koreans are kind of racist. I ain't going to lie to you. If you're not Korean, they're going to say stuff to you that's going to be offensive. So anyway, I'm at 13 minutes. I'm going to stop. I don't want to bore anybody. I just want to say, if you like this, press like. If you want to join the channel, press subscribe. And God bless you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I don't know if anyone's going to see this video, but if you do, I hope it helped. Bye-bye. Bye.